Your dog is asleep on the floor, not on their bed, on the floor, right next to your chair, close enough that if you shift your foot, you'd touch them. They're not asking for anything. They came over, circled twice, and dropped. Just close. Just there. You probably didn't think much of it, but that small, unremarkable moment, that might be one of the clearest things your dog has ever communicated to you. This video is about understanding how dogs actually experience love. Not the version we project onto them, not the greeting card version, but the real one. And the real version is quieter, more physical, and far more interesting than most people expect. Love as a nervous system. Experience. Here's the reframe that makes everything else in this video make sense. We tend to think of love as an emotion, something felt, expressed, maybe demonstrated with a gesture or a gift. For dogs, love operates differently. It lives primarily in the body, in the nervous system, in whether the world around them feels predictable enough to relax into. Research into canine cognition and stress physiology has found that dogs have highly sensitive cortisol responses, the stress hormone that rises when an animal feels threatened, uncertain, or unsettled. What lowers that response isn't flattery or affection alone. It's consistency, familiarity, the reliable presence of someone whose behavior the dog has learned to read. In other words, your dog may experience love most directly as the feeling of their own body settling down, the absence of vigilance, the ability to exhale. This doesn't mean your dog doesn't feel affection. They very likely do, in their own way. It means that the deepest kind of love a dog can feel toward a human is probably less, "you make my heart flutter," and more, "when you're here, I know what the world is going to do next." Hold that thought. It changes how you read everything that follows. Sign 1. Choosing your proximity without a reason. What it looks like, your dog gravitates toward the room you're in, not because it's mealtime, not because the lead just came out, just because that's where you are. They don't demand attention. They settle nearby, sometimes with their back to you, and simply coexist. What it may mean. Dogs who feel genuinely safe with someone often use that person as what behavioral scientists call a secure base, a concept borrowed from human attachment research and applied with interesting results to dogs. The idea is that a dog who trusts their owner can use them as a stable point from which to explore or rest, rather than needing to stay alert. Choosing your presence without an agenda may be one of the most unfiltered expressions of ease a dog can show. Try this. Next time your dog settles near you, resist the urge to call them over or make a fuss. Let the proximity exist without adding noise to it. Just being there, steady and undemanding, may be exactly what they came for. Sign 2. Eye contact. That isn't asking for anything. What it looks like? A slow glance across the room, not the locked, intense stare of a dog waiting for a treat to drop. Something easier than that. A brief look, soft around the eyes, that doesn't carry urgency. What it may mean? A study published in the journal Science in 2015 found that mutual gazing between dogs and their owners was associated with increased oxytocin in both, the same bonding hormone involved in parent-infant connection. What's worth noting is that this wasn't manufactured by researchers. It emerged from naturally occurring eye contact between bonded pairs. The gaze, when relaxed and mutual, may function as a kind of quiet check-in, a way of saying, "Still here, still okay." Try this. When your dog looks at you this way, try returning it softly, relaxed face, no sudden movement. A slow blink from you can signal calm and often prompts one back. It's a small exchange, but it may carry more warmth than a lot of the bigger gestures. We default to. Sign 3. Physical relaxation in your presence. What it looks like? Loose limbs, a jaw that isn't tight. Breathing you can actually hear. Your dog sprawled in a position that makes them look, frankly, a little ridiculous. Legs out, belly accessible, completely unbothered. What it may mean? A dog in full physical relaxation is a dog whose threat detection system has stood down. For an animal that evolved in environments where being caught off guard had real consequences, choosing to go physically soft around someone is a meaningful signal. You don't lie upside down with your paws in the air next to something you don't trust. There's a version of this that carries extra weight. When a dog does this not on their own bed, in a quiet room alone, but specifically next to you, the variable that changed is your presence. You are the condition under which they feel safe enough to let go completely. Try this. Pay attention to whether your dog relaxes more in certain rooms, at certain times, or when specific people are present. If there's a pattern, if they're consistently looser and softer around you, that's worth noticing. Lean into whatever you're doing in those moments, the pace, the tone, the stillness. It's a Sunday afternoon. You're reading on the couch. Your dog gets up from their bed across the room, walks over without prompting, and lies down on the floor directly beside you. Not on the couch, just on the floor beside it. You reach down once, they lick your hand once, and then you both go back to what you were doing. That exchange took about 4 seconds. It contained no drama, no performance, no training cue. It was, in the quietest possible way, two creatures who trust each other, confirming it. Sign 4. Following your emotional lead. What it looks like. A visitor arrives. Your dog is uncertain, a little alert, a little watchful. They look at you. You're relaxed, welcoming. Within a few minutes, so are they. Or you're having a hard day. Your voice is lower, your energy slower. Your dog stays closer, moves less, settles at your feet rather than at the other end of the room. What it may mean? Dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to human emotional cues, facial expression, vocal tone, body posture. Studies using functional imaging have suggested that dogs process emotional information from human faces in ways that have some parallels to how we process each other's expressions. A dog who consistently uses your emotional state as a cue for their own may be demonstrating a specific kind of trust. Though we've learned that your read of the situation is worth borrowing, this is a significant thing. It means your regulation, your calm, your steadiness, or the lack of it, is something your dog is likely absorbing and responding to in real time. Try this. On high-stress days, experiment with deliberate slowness around your dog. Lower your voice slightly. Move with intention. Notice whether their behavior shifts. You may find that managing your own nervous system is one of the most direct ways of caring for theirs. Sign 5. Greeting you without losing their mind. What it looks like. You come home. Your dog is happy to see you. Tail moving, maybe a short vocalizations coming to the door. But they settle within a minute or two. The greeting is warm, not frantic. They don't pace, don't bark for 10 minutes, don't seem unable to come down from it. What it may mean. This one requires nuance because the wildly enthusiastic leap on you from across the room greeting is often what we've been taught to love and reward. But a dog who greets you with genuine excitement and then returns to calm fairly quickly may actually be showing a deeper kind of stability than one who can't regulate after you arrive. The frantic greeting, while sometimes just personality or breed, can also indicate a dog for whom your absence was genuinely difficult. The calm greeting suggests, I missed you, I'm glad you're back, and I was okay while you were gone. One gentle caution here. If your dog's greetings have recently become dramatically more intense than usual, or if they show signs of distress before you leave, pacing, whining, following you from room to room in the final minutes, it's worth speaking with a vet or qualified behaviorist. Separation anxiety is real, manageable, and often misread as affection when it's actually closer to panic. Try this. When you arrive home, greet your dog warmly but without matching a frantic energy. Keep your own greeting calm and brief, then go about your return routine. Many dogs regulate faster when you don't amplify the reunion, and a fast return to baseline is good for them. Sign 6. Bringing you into their play. What it looks like. Your dog picks up a toy, not to request a game necessarily, but to carry it to where you are. Or they initiate play directly with you, rather than entertaining themselves alone. They check back with you mid-play, making brief eye contact before continuing. What it may mean, play requires a degree of vulnerability. When a dog invites you into it, they're extending a kind of social trust. This is what I find joyful, and I want you in it. The check-back behavior during play is particularly interesting. Research suggests that dogs monitor human attention during interaction in ways that other domestic animals don't show to the same degree. Your dog may literally be checking that you're still engaged, still present, still part of what's happening. Try this. The next time your dog brings you a toy or initiates play, give it a full minute of your real attention. Not distracted attention, not one hand on your phone, attention. Just the minute. Dogs are sensitive to quality of engagement, not just quantity. A child visiting your home goes to hug your dog. Your dog turns their head slightly away, licks their lips once, and shifts their weight back. These are easy signals to miss. They look like nothing, but they're a polite, clear request. Not this, not right now. The child goes to hug anyway because they mean well, and nobody has taught them otherwise. This scenario plays out constantly. The point isn't that the dog is unfriendly or the child is bad. The point is that a dog who feels truly loved by their owner is also a dog who's been extended the dignity of having their communications taken seriously, including the quiet ones that say, "I need a little space." Teaching the people around your dog to read these early signals isn't overprotective. It's part of how trust gets built. Sign 7. Returning to you after independence. What it looks like. Your dog roams, explores, does their thing. In the yard, in the park, around the house. And then, without being called, they circle back. Check in. Make contact briefly, then go again. What it may mean, this behavior maps closely onto what attachment researchers call the secure base effect, observed in both human children and dogs. A young child with a trusted caregiver will explore freely and return periodically for reassurance, not because they're anxious, but because the connection makes the exploration feel safe. Dogs who do this with their owners may be showing the same thing. You are their point of return, not because the world is scary, but because coming back to you is part of how they move through it. If, by contrast, your dog rarely checks back in, not out of confident independence, but out of seeming disengagement, it may be worth reflecting on whether the relationship has the mutual attunement it could have. It's not a judgment, it's just a direction. Try this. When your dog voluntarily checks in with you outdoors, acknowledge them briefly and warmly, then let them go again. This small loop, return, acknowledge, release, can reinforce the dynamic over time and deepen the sense that you're a reliable home base worth coming back to. One note that belongs here. If your dog's behavior shifts noticeably, they become more clingy, more withdrawn, less interested in interaction, or start greeting you differently than they used to. Don't assume it's an emotional or behavioral issue first. Pain, illness, hearing, or vision changes, and the natural shifts of aging can all affect how a dog behaves around the people they love. When something changes meaningfully, a conversation with your vet is always the right first step. Behavior is always worth understanding in context. What your dog may have been showing you all along the things on this list, the quiet settling, the soft eye contact, the toy offered without fanfare, the calm return after independence, none of them are dramatic. They don't make for great photos. They don't fit easily into the stories we tell about dogs and the humans who love them. But they may be the most honest language your dog has. A language spoken in proximity and pace, and the specific quality of how a body chooses to rest near yours. Your dog didn't pick you for your grand gestures. They chose you over time because you became the condition under which the world felt manageable. That's a kind of trust that doesn't announce itself. It just shows up quietly in the room where you are. In the next video, we're going to look at something that follows naturally from this. What dogs may actually experience when you leave the house. Not the dramatic version, the real one. It's more nuanced than most people think, and understanding it might change how you handle your departures entirely.